Hey, what's going on? This is Caucasian Mark, the whitest dude on the internet, and today in this fabulous, breathtakingly awesome action film in our Java series, we are going to be talking about exceptions. Now, I'm going to do two parts to this because the first one I just want to introduce the general concept so we kind of see how it works. The second video, you can make your own exceptions. You have throw, then you have another reserved word throws, and you have all these other little nuanced things. So I'm just going to do a general, just kind of go ahead and get our hands dirty here, and then later we could sort out some of the finer parts of it. So we can think of an exception as something along the lines of, well, let's just start with this reserved word try. We could tell someone, try to do this. Then we could say, if an error occurs, stop it. And then after we're done trying, say we succeed or we fail, regardless, we could continue the other tasks at hand we have assigned. So if I tell a worker, go clean the lobby, go take out the trash, and say a car, he's in the alley, he's throwing the trash in the dumpster, and a car is coming in and he has to run out of the way and drop the trash, that would be an exception. That would be something like, if we were to make one up, almost got ran over exception. And then after that action is done and caught and noticed, we can continue on with some of our functionality. The whole point is that exceptions try and prevent things from going wrong in memory or your app from crashing altogether, and it tries to catch all those little small nuanced things that could give you a nightmare otherwise. And we're gonna jump into an example right now. So let's say an int some sexy array. Let's make it array. Give it a value of 2 there, why not? And let's just do a system out print line, and let's just do some sexy array 600, right? Oh, that's why I forgot that word. Much like when I have conversations with people, I assume they know what I'm thinking. So sometimes that happens in code too. I'm like, well, obviously it's an int over here, so I want to make an int over there. Anyways, fuck it, let's keep going. What I want to do now is print out some sexy array, which happens to be this one right here. And I want to print out its 600th value. Well, if we only gave it 2, there's going to be an issue. And I'm doing this on purpose to show you that, say, something in your code or some user or something along those lines wants to access data that's not there. There's no memory reserved for it, or they can't write a certain file. So I'm trying to, on purpose, screw something up here. So we're going to come in, array index out of bounds exception E. And that's what we're trying to catch right here. This right here is an exception that exists in the Java language. In the next video, I'm going to show you can create your own exceptions unique to your own programs, because the creators of Java can't know every single kind of program ever that's going to be made. So eventually you will have to get to the point where you use your own kind of exceptions. So we're going to have an array index out of bounds exception. The argument is always going to be an E in there. I've never seen it really deviated from that whatsoever. So that's just kind of the standard convention. We could come down in here. Now, let me just jump out of this. The catch, you don't have to have anything inside of there. You don't whatsoever. You can just say catch it and then do whatever else you want to afterward. But good practice denotes that we really want to know where the hell the problem came from. So we could say, come in here, exception thrown, come out, and E. So this will be the issue there. But we could also, another way of doing this, so we could do E dot, I'm just going to slam that in there, Printstacktrace. That's another way of finding what kind of problem occurred. As you can see at the bottom of my screen here, I've already ran this. I'm going to run it again and explain what it means as I go along. So we're going to come in here. We gave it the value. We're going to look for something that's not there, and then we're going to handle the problem. As we can see, this line right here, line 22, is saying that the exception thrown is the the language package here, saying array index out of bounds at 600. So that may make us think, we went too high out of our array. We should check what value the array is in, or maybe change it from an array to another kind of object that could hold more data or be a bit more flexible. And then the Printstacktrace is the stuff in the red here. And that's really cool because not only does it give you what's above, but it tells you where in the code that went wrong. And so usually if you look here, you could look right above it too, or slightly above it if you know you made that variable nearby as well. So the e.printstacktrace is obviously shorter to type than what's on line 22 right here. It gives you everything above. It may not look as sexy, but hey, it's red, it stands out. I think from school we all know that red pens means you're fucking up somewhere. And it tells you where to go in your code too, which is pretty bitchin' as well. I think that's awesome. And so what we could also do is we could write something else in here. You know what, let's just do something else before I continue with what I was about to say. We could do this as well. We could have multiple catches. You could have try catches inside of try catches. That does exist. It looks really weird after a while. But we could have multiple catches. So you could have an explicit one right here. Array index out of bounds. Or array index out of bounds exception. Whatever I just said. But then you could come down here, and this is a general catch for just a general kind of exception right there. Those, when I code, I like to put those at the end because there may be scenarios you haven't thought of, or as your code may change, or you get new objects coming in or whatnot. There may be things that you don't see, don't know, don't think of, because that happens to all of us. And this is just a nice general catch at the end of whatever's going on to ensure that, you don't kill somebody who's blasting off into space in a rocket. It's kind of nice to have. Say we're done with the try catches though. What do we want to do next? Well, I'm glad you asked that question because it kind of looks like, shit kind of stopped right here and you just kind of shrug your shoulders and you're like, what do I do? I'm not quite sure. And that is where we have another awesome word. Finally. So you say, try this. If this bad shit happens, report to me what happens. So think of the guy going out to take the trash. Car swerved at him. That's an exception. But finally, you want them to keep continuing some kind of process afterward, regardless of what went wrong, right? So print line, and let's just have something like in the theme of what we've been doing. I know it was kind of chopped up right here, but never mind that for now. So we did everything we did before. We printed out the exception here. Now you say you have a coworker that sees everything, but they don't care because they're lazy and don't want to work, and they're going to yell, take out the trash, asshole, after you may have been hit by a car here. Now, I know we're dealing with numbers, and I'm trying to give you a funny story at the same time, but really what we're just trying to do here is attempt this, catch errors. After errors are caught, do this. Keep doing it. So that is an exception in a nutshell. There'll be a second video coming up. The next one, I do believe so, if I'm organized. And I'll show you how to make your own exception classes, how to use throw versus throws, and all the sexy stuff outside and in between. It's Caucasian Mark. Like, share, subscribe, contribute. Leave some comments below. Spam my page, whatever you want to do. Go drink a beer, call off of work, whatever.